It's every year, it seems now. The football gods out there see fit for all of our viewing pleasure and competition pleasure, seem fit to get together and say, these two all-world quarterbacks don't play in the same division, but let's have them play every single year anyway. And back in the day, for us, I guess, dare I say it, a generation ago, maybe, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady did it all the time. And now it appears the football gods want Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to play every year. They played in Week 9 in Western New York for the 6th straight season. 6 seasons in a row. Ooh. They don't play in the same divisions. And it's the first time that they matched up as MVP quarterbacks. I mentioned this stat on Overreaction Monday. Might as well mention it here.
Do it.
They've hit double digits now in terms of facing one another, 10. And now it was their first matching up as MVP quarterbacks. The record for most matchups in the history of the National Football League between MVP quarterbacks, the aforementioned Brady and Manning played each other 17 times. They were division mates for 1 year. Okay. Right. Brady came in 2001 when the Colts were in the AFC East. Next year, realignment. They go their separate ways, but still, they faced each other 17 times. And then, including the playoffs, by the way, another 17 times, Johnny Unitas and Bart Starr faced each other many other generations ago, 17 times. So it was the first time they faced each other as MVP quarterbacks. It was another first as well. It was the first time Mahomes and Allen faced each other when neither were in first place. That's right. As we all know, the Bills lost to the Patriots on a Sunday night. They lost to each other, just to get this exactly correct. This game was in Week 5 of the NFL campaign, when Drake May came in and shocked everyone in Western New York and won under the lights against the Buffalo Bills, and they have yet to lose since, which is why the Bills were not in first place coming into this game. And as we all know, the Chiefs famously started 0-2, and the Broncos aren't losing football games. They've won 6 in a row now after they beat the Texans yesterday, 18-15. And the Chargers keep winning. And the Chargers were the ones who began to put the Chiefs in that 0-2 hole in Brazil. So that's all mentioned as the backdrop of this game, because it's a rarity when you see two MVP quarterbacks face one another. It's a rarity for these two to face each other as non-first place teams. And it's also a rarity that these two teams are, because of that last stat, at a crossroads. They're teams at a crossroads of a season. Because as the Chiefs were losing in Western New York, the Jacksonville Jaguars escaped in Las Vegas. And the Jaguars are one of the 4 teams to have beaten the Chiefs this year. And they come off their bye, and they are now 5-3, and the Chiefs are 5-4 heading off into their bye. And the Bills, had they lost this game, watching the Patriots win again in Atlanta, that result, in New England against Atlanta, which can't make a field goal or an extra point for their lives. That might be the difference between the Falcons making the playoffs or not at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. They lose by 1 in New England. The Bills take the field yesterday knowing they've got to win to keep pace with Drake May. And the team they have to beat are the Chiefs. And I don't want to hear it. That, well, the Bills keep beating the Chiefs in the regular season and the Chiefs just keep beating them in the playoffs. Even though that is correct.
That is exactly what happens.
I know. The Bills have now won 5 in a row against the Chiefs in the regular season, and the Chiefs have won the last 4 against the Bills in the postseason. As a matter of fact, 3 of the last 5 Bills campaigns have come at the hands of the Chiefs after the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. But coming into this game, as I mentioned, with neither quarterback, MVP quarterback, being in first place, a loss might eventually mean they're not making the playoffs at all. And sure enough, the Bills, despite boat racing Carolina, which turned right around and won in Green Bay against a team in Green Bay that smoked the Steelers in Pittsburgh, only to turn around and lose every ounce of mojo that they had to lose to Carolina, while Pittsburgh flipped the script and got 6 takeaways of the hottest team in the NFL and hottest quarterback running back combination in the NFL in Indianapolis. You can't tell week to week what's going to happen. So you need to take care of business in the week that you're playing, and the Bills playing a Chiefs team that could ill afford to lose if they wanted to make it 10 straight years atop their division. And the Chiefs are taking on a Bills team that could ill afford to lose if they want to win their 5th straight time atop the AFC East. This is big. And I don't care that the Bills boat raced Carolina and Carolina won in Green Bay. They, in their own locker room with the defense being maligned and now missing Ed Oliver for potentially the rest of the season, they went ahead and they pressured Mahomes like it was the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Mahomes is not used to getting pressured like he did yesterday. 52.6% of his dropbacks were pressured. Only the 4th game in his career when he was pressured on 50 or more percent of his dropbacks. The other 3 games happened from 2018 to 2020. So the Bills turned back the clock on Mahomes in terms of him running for his life. 2nd worst passer rating in his career, 57.2%. You don't think that means anything to the Bills, who aren't guaranteed a division this time around, like whenever they face each other before, the Bills and the Chiefs? They're not even guaranteed a playoff spot with the way the rest of the AFC West is going, and the Ravens coming on stronger, one would think. James Cook, I said it the other day, just keep finding number 4. Don't forget the reason why he was holding out or holding in and you paid him anyway. 27 carries. This is what we're talking about. Put the bell cow on him and see what he can do. 114 rushing yards. First 100-yard rushing game by a Bill against the Chief. Pardon me, but of anybody against the Chiefs since Zamir White did it. If you remember the Christmas Day surprise of the Raiders in Arrowhead.
Zamir White.
In 2023. And the only one who's had more rush yards through the first 8 games in the history of the Bills than Cook's 867 is OJ, who had 1,100 plus in 73 and 75. He won the MVP award in 73, by the way. It's a career-high number of carries. 6 career games now with 20 or more carries. Half of them have come this year because the Bills understand this is how you do it. And then Josh Allen, man, this is unbelievable. You want to talk about a remarkable quarterback performance in a game where it really mattered. Again, I don't want to hear it that they don't do it against the Chiefs in the postseason, because that can change at any postseason, and there's no guarantee they're going to see each other this postseason. You got to make it to the postseason before you worry about this stuff when they, again, faced each other for the first time without being in first place. Josh Allen, 23 of 26 for 273 passing yards and a passing touchdown. His 2 rushing touchdowns give him 79 in his career. That is the most of anybody in the history of the NFL. He broke the tie with Cam Newton at the top. This is the one that's kind of crazy. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns this year now. First quarterback in NFL history with 6 or more rushing touchdowns in each of their first 8 career seasons. The other ones are named Jim Brown, Marshall Faulk, and LaDainian Tomlinson. He's a quarterback. 6th player in NFL history to do so in any 8-season stretch of a career. That widens out the net to Derrick Henry and fellow Bill Thurman Thomas to be in the mix. He's unbelievable, and he did it when they needed it. They need it. I don't care that they don't do it in January or February, because this year neither may get the chance. And this is what exactly the Buffalo Bills needed to do. You put up the AFC standings, if you don't mind, Mr. Hoskins, please. Because the Buffalo Bills now are the top wild card team, a half game behind the Patriots, who won again, as I mentioned. They've been on fire since starting 1-2, 6 wins in a row for New England, which now visits Tampa next. And the Bucs are coming off of a bye. That's a big win, while the Bills next visit Miami, which, as you know, has a dumpster that's apparently on fire. So that was massive for the Bills, because otherwise they would be a 5-3 team, just like the Jaguars, and the Chiefs would be 6-3, right in front of them with a tiebreak on top of them, because they might not win their division either. And that possibility just got that much larger because they're 5-4. The Chargers, who beat them, are a game and a half ahead of them. The Broncos, who they have yet to play, the Chiefs go on a bye, and they come off that bye at Denver, which after their 6th straight win, Denver now starts Week 10 in 3 nights against a Raiders team that has Brock Bowers back healthy, 3 touchdowns against the Jaguars. But that's a tall order for them against a defense that is killing it and taking scalps. So the Chiefs now head into their bye in this situation, which is way worse than the Bills situation, and it could be absolutely different. And that's why I don't even care about their postseason records against each other. This was a big win for the Bills and a tough loss for the Chiefs, who head into their bye week 1 game over 500. It's the first time in the Mahomes era that the Chiefs haven't hit their bye at least 3 over 500. So they are now in a spot that they're not used to being in. This is what Mahomes had to say after the loss.
We've had great moments. We've had bad moments. We got to be more consistent as a team. I got to be more consistent at quarterback, and we got to be able to battle. I mean, we've kind of been in a lot of these tight, close games in our history, but they're not going our way now. So how can we deal with that adversity? How can we be better and learn from it? I mean, you only learn from so many losses. I mean, you gotta learn from it fast, and it's gonna be an uphill battle when we get back. But I think our guys are up to it.
I mean, the 4th and 17 he converted was unbelievable to Rashee Rice, who is definitely back. 4 catches, 80 receiving yards. He had his first rushing touchdown of his career. By the way, 11th different wide receiver to rush for a touchdown in the Mahomes era. And it just gives you an idea of how diverse that offense can be when it's clicking, which it can, and it is. And Kelsey's playing way better than a lot of people thought that he would follow up last year's season with. There's a lot to hang your hat on if you're Kansas City. The problem is they started 0-2. They started 0-2. And hopefully they get healthier and come back, and then they have their 2 games against Denver, which is the way through. It's their way through. They do have the Colts coming off of their bye after they visit visit Berlin this weekend against Atlanta. They're at Dallas on Thanksgiving. They're home for Houston on a Sunday night, and Houston's only giving up 15 points per game despite being 3-5. The Chargers, they have to win that. These are all pretty much must-wins for Kansas City to repeat as AFC West champs for a 10th straight year. And if not, they got to win enough to make the playoffs and then go through as a wild card, which they've never done. They've been on the road before, as we know, and made the Super Bowl, having beaten Buffalo and then Baltimore, and then went to the Super Bowl and then won it.
But never from the wild card.
That is correct, sir. They've won it every single year from the spot of AFC West champs. So that's why, again, this is a massive win for Buffalo. Tough loss for Kansas City. Doesn't take the Chiefs off. The loser wasn't going to be removed from the chessboard. But I don't want to hear it about the Bills can't do it in January, because they might not see the Chiefs at all.
Well, the Bills can't do it in January.
Well, I understand what you're saying, Chris. They haven't done it.
And especially against KC 0-4.
I understand it, but there's some people on this team that it doesn't matter to them, and they also can't go into life thinking that the inevitable is going to happen to them anyway. But what they want to do is they want to play at home, because that advantage is significant. Certainly it's the last time they're playing in this house. They want that. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.